Y'all are gonna laugh when I say this, but I wrote negative 1,488 words. Hello friends and enemies, welcome to day 17 of Writemas, aka Vlogmas Writing Edition. We're getting off to a little bit of a late start because my sister and I were doing some goal setting for 2025. I normally don't do goal setting for the end of the year, but I was like, listen, we gotta get ourselves into gear for 2025. Like, not to do an age reveal, but I'm turning 29 next year, and I would really like the last year of my 20s to go out with a bang. Also, my neck has been hurting really badly this entire day. Like, I just woke up in pain from like the top of my neck, like the nape area, all the way to like where my shoulder blades are. And I tried massaging it, I used a gua sha and everything, but even like looking down and like moving it around kind of hurts. So I'm probably gonna try to take it easy for this writing session. Also, because I didn't do the plotting that I said I was gonna do, but we're refreshed, we're rejuvenated, even if our neck is in pain. We're gonna try to do some writing, even if it's just rewriting and editing some past scenes from a previous draft. So without further ado, let's get into our first writing sprint. Hello, it is currently 10:40 and I just finished up my first writing sprint. Y'all are gonna laugh when I say this, but I wrote negative 1,488 words. So I deleted a bunch of words because I realized that I actually wanted to combine two chapters that I had written. One of my previous chapters was already getting really long and I still had to fill things in for it. And I realized, oh, the chapter that I wrote last night, it's gonna be some repetitive things from the previous chapter. So I was like, let me just combine it and just like edit things out and change things, because one chapter is in the female protagonist's point of view and the other one is in the male protagonist's point of view. So what I did was take the first chapter, copy it, and put it in this little outtakes folder that I have. So I'm just rewriting this chapter now in the male protagonist's point of view. It's not the entire chapter, but it's a good chunk of it, enough that I have negative 1,488 words. Like, technically this is editing, but this is a really significant part of it, and like I want to work on something tonight, so I'm like, let me just rewrite this. I can do this tonight and it'll make more sense and it'll help me storytelling wise. Even though we technically deleted some words, I feel like we're making progress. And I was really getting into the groove of it towards the end of the sprint, so I think I'm going to take a tiny writing break and then I'm going to go back into writing or editing, whatever you want to call it. But either way, I will see y'all after the next sprint. Hello, it is currently 11:07. I just finished up my writing sprint and I now have negative 710 words. We're making progress even though we still have a negative word count. I'm already feeling much better about the chapter now that I'm combining the two, because I had mentioned a few vlogs back and a few chapters back that I was like, oh, I feel like I'm getting into like a repetitive motion where like this chapter is very similar to that one. And I'm like, that's not the vibe I'm trying to go for. If there's gonna be any like mirroring of actions, it has to be like a flashback scene and a present day scene, not two present day scenes. So we're making progress. I think I'm gonna take like maybe like a 5-minute break, a very tiny break, and then go back into writing because I really want us to at least get out of the negative before midnight. So I'm gonna go on my break and then I will go on my sprint and see y'all afterwards. Hello, it is currently 11:57 p.m. I just finished up 2 writing sprints and I now have negative 167 words. I decided to do 2 writing sprints because I was very much in the zone and I was like, I need to get back to the green. I needed to get back into the green. I can't have us in the negative right now. I can't end with us in the negative. Also, it got really cold, so I put on a little sweatshirt. Even though our word count is in the negative, I'm really happy with where it's going so far, and that's all that really matters. We're making progress. That's all that matters. Before I decided to combine these chapters, this first one was around like 4,400 words, and right now it is at 2,513. The other chapter, I think it was like 1,900 or something below 2,000, and now it is currently 3,038 words. So I think we're getting better at like the word count per chapter and just like the pacing of everything. And this is also really good because I think the flow and the progression of their relationship now is doing much better than where I had left it off yesterday. I think I'm gonna do one more writing sprint. I might do another one just because because I want to tie up some loose ends, at least with these 2 chapters before I finish writing for the night. So I will take a little break and then I will see y'all after the next writing sprint. Although it is currently 12:42 a.m., I just finished up a writing sprint. I have a positive word count after this session. So for the entire night, I have written 908 words. A lot of it is just copied and pasted from a previous draft and into this draft, which pretty much works. I think I'll just edit it later on, like in editing mode. We're just drafting, we're just putting in words that we need to put. So it's fine, we're good, it's all good. Interesting enough, if I look at my writing history on Scrivener, it says that for the 17th, I wrote 241 words. And then for today, which is now the 18th, it says that I wrote 1,075 words. So who knows how much I have actually written for tonight. But I'm having a pretty good time writing. I know it's pretty late, but I think I'm gonna fit in just like one more writing sprint, just because I know how this first chapter is gonna end based on the conversation from the previous draft and like me knowing that I'm gonna keep whatever they have here. I already know like what my last few lines are gonna be. It's gonna be different from this version of the scene in the previous draft. So I was like, I need to write this down before I forget it. I need to write this down before I like forget it while I'm yapping during my recap. So that's all good. I think I'm gonna take like maybe like a 2-minute break, a 5-minute break, and then go straight back into writing because I really want to finish this, or at least like clean up some of it before I end the night. So I will go on my break and then I will catch y'all after the next writing sprint. Hello, it is 1:13 a.m. I just finished up a writing sprint, a pretty successful one if I may add, because according to Scrivener, my session target, aka my word count for tonight, is 2,283 words out of 2,571 words. And I did a little bit of math because my goal is to write 50,000 words for the month of December. I have written 28,989 words so far, which means that I only have 21,011 words left. I'm gonna allow myself to write on January 1st if I feel called to. So then that means I only have 15 days left of writing, and then 21,011 divided by 15 gives me about 1,400 words to write each day, which I think I can manage. I have a few days where I'm going to be out and hanging out because, you know, like the holidays and whatnot. But if I continue writing and like copying and pasting, let's be honest, I think I'll be fine. Overall, I'm feeling pretty well with what I've done tonight. Like we did some major overhauls, like major overhauls, literally combining 2 chapters and inserting a lot of text from previous drafts, which I really like so far. So I think I'm gonna keep it, and then like while I'm editing, I'll actually like refine and tune it. We're leaving off with the start of another chapter, which I'm not super sure about how I'm gonna go about. I typically like ending my writing sessions in the middle of a scene, not at like the beginning or an end of one, just so that when I start my next writing session, I can be like, oh, I know what to do. Like, let's keep going. Let's continue this thought. But honestly, I don't think I have any more words in me. Also considering the fact that it's past 1 a.m. I guess the one thing I can share is like, don't be afraid to like Frankenstein your work. Obviously that's what I've been doing for like the past few sessions and or like all of my sessions, but especially like words within the same draft that you're working on. Like up until now, I've just been pulling things from previous drafts and then like putting it into the current one. But because I think I had a good vision of what I wanted, it was easy for me to combine 2 current chapters that I had in this current draft. Is it gonna survive this draft and survive editing? Who knows? But it's working for the story arc at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me in my writing and my yapping. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!